short little intro, folks. We are going to be starting Pendragon, the book 3, The Never War, by DJ McHale. Buckle in and let's read this book. Okay. Okay, Pendragon, The Never War. So, Bobby Pendragon and Spader are just like, I don't know, crazy, stupid idiots. It starts off with Bobby explaining that he's on First Earth in 1937. And that's what First Earth is our Earth in 1937, which is weird. Okay, it's really weird. When they flew in to First Earth, because that's where all the action is, they're met by gangsters. They steal his ring, and they try to kill him with machine guns, and then by train. But they escape, and the person who finds him is what's his name? I forgot it already. We'll get to it, I guess. I just read it too. That's a terrible thing. Anyways. Bobby waits to go to First Earth. To Flume to Velox first, because he's having time to adjust and everything to it. And he tells Spader that the Flumes will put you out where you need to be all the time. They will do it at the exact time, that date that you need to be there. Okay? And they tell him that he needs to write a journal to somebody and send it to somebody. So he does it to Wu Yenza. Alright? So they get 4 journals. Bobby's friends, Mark, Dimon, and Courtney Chetwande, on all at once, so they get to read it all at once. Yay. So that's what they're doing. We're doing the adventures, okay? So when they flew to Velox, big, giant head floats towards them. And they're like, what the hell's going on? She asks for their names. He tells them that St. Dane's not there. And he's like, well, we know he came. She said, never said he didn't come. I just said he's not there. And they show a projection of it, of St. Dane fluming in, saying First Earth, and fluming out immediately afterwards. And they're like, well, how can we trust you? Right? Because who the fuck are you? Trinesis. And she's like, my name is Aja Killian. I'm the traveler from Velox, and I have everything here under control. Go to First Earth. So she literally kicks them out. And they're like, okay, let's go to First Earth. They immediately almost get killed. Yeah, so, like, that's terrible. Yeah, they almost get killed, like, twice in the span, 3 times in the span of, like, a couple of minutes. Because once they run away, but through using the train as cover, the guys find them, and they try to shoot them up again. But somebody interrupts. And I know his name is Gunny, but his Vincent Van Dyke. Vincent Van Dyke, friends call him Gunny. What is with people calling people Vincent Van Dyke? What is it about it? That they use the characters and they call him Vincent Van Dyke. And I know that is so bright, and there's nothing I can do about that window back there. Nothing I can do about it. So, like, literally, he's a traveler from First Earth, and he's like in his 60s, and he just found out like 2 years ago that he's a traveler thanks to press. He met Elsa. He also lives in a hotel, a fancy ass freaking hotel. And they're trying to figure out what's gonna happen. And Bobby's like, okay, well, what's your story about how you became named Gunny? And he's like, well, this is how I became named Gunny, was because I couldn't fire guns, and I was just a cooking and cleaning person. And then he's like, yeah, for this big ass war. And Bobby's like, you know that war you were in? They call it World War I. World War II is about to start. Are we here to stop it? And Gunny's like, yeah, maybe we're here to stop that frickin' war. Maybe that's what it is. So they've got a guy who's a criminal / businessman named Maximilian Rose, who lives in the hotel with them in the Manhattan Tower. So they've got to deal with that. They're also living there too, in a renovated floor, hopefully. And Dewey Todd's father owns the hotel. He's the bellhop. Well, he's the elevator man. I don't know why he's doing that. So, yeah, they have all that they're doing. Like, literally, they get attacked again at the hotel by the same dude from the subway. And he says, like, Win Pharaoh is the one who's ordering this. Is Win Pharaoh St. Dane, or is Maximilian Rose St. Dane? Or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, so they become bellhops to cover their story while they're there. And Gunny's like, I can't believe he sent people. Win Pharaoh sent people here. It's crossing a very dangerous line. So a gang war is going to happen. That's literally what's happening. Is a gang war is going to happen. So they need to figure out what they're doing. They do know there's this one dude who stands out, Mr. Ludwig Zell. Ludwig Zell. And he's got a German accent. So it's like, I know something's up with that. He gets sent up to deliver the food that's done for them. And he listens in on them. The first bit, I don't know if that's anything important. Probably not. But, Maximum Rhodes calls him Buck Rogers, which is a little weird. So he listens in, and, Ludwig is supposed to be paying him for something, because Rose has gone out on a limb for him, and he's like, the first payment will be May 6th. And they're like, okay, spaceman, go away. So he sees a swastika, and a cross, so he's surrounded by a wreath. So he finds a letter, and this letter says to confirm an agreement that initial payment due to them for services rendered with it will be arriving in the USA via LZ-129 on May 6th of this year, and will be available to you immediately. By Ludwig Zell. Okay? And then he figures out that he's trapped because he closed the door and it locks from the outside, and you can only get in from the outside, and it's a way to do stuff. So this girl, who you later find out her name is Esther Amadon, the movie star actor type deal, finds her and releases him from that trap. And he made up a story about how I was supposed to order for champagne, but I got locked in. And he's like, I'll just go down and get it. And then, guess who shows up? Gunny with champagne, courtesy of the hotel. So, his lie kind of got, here you go. Validated. His lie got validated. Can you believe that? I can't. And I don't really like that the sun's in your fucking face. I really can't do a lot about it. Not really. Unless I did this, I guess. And then we just slide over here like so. And then the sun's not in your face, but it's still technically in my face. And then nothing happens for the rest of that time. For 2 whole fucking months. May 3rd, things started getting hotter. So, literally nothing happens for 2 months. They meet a person named Nancy Olson, who is known as Jinx. She's a flyer. She's a really good flyer. She's met Amelia Earnhardt, who's about to take her trip around the world at the end of this month. So, yay there for that. And they're here for this big get-together thing, party that's going on. And Buck Rogers is going to be there too. And while he's serving Buck Rogers as a waiter, he meets Ersta. He learns who Ersta Adamon is. His name Max Rose's girlfriend. And then he sees a guy stalking close to Rose, and it's a fucking gunman from the subway. So he tells Spader about it, and he's like, you go, you gotta stop him. He's like, Spader's like, I'll take the gunman. You take care of saving Rose. So when the gunman goes to shoot, Pendragon jumps over top of him, throws him down, and he misses. And then he picks up the gun, and Rose is like, shoot him, Buck, shoot him. And he's like, I can't do that. So he doesn't shoot him. And the gunman runs away, and Spader runs after him. I want to call him Vader for some reason. Vader for some reason. He's like, I told you to kill him. Why didn't you? And he said, wasn't enough that I saved your skin. I'm not hearing any thank yous. He says, thank you, Buck. Now get you off me. He's like, okay. So, he's like, why don't you guys just go hang out for a little while and don't come out until things cool down? And so they go up to their thing, and then the next morning, Dewey comes along and says, I know everything that happens in this hotel, so you guys are still living here, I know this, and this is about this, and they're like, yeah, well, too bad. He tricks Bobby into saying, like, I wonder who those 2 hero waiters were. And then Jinx Olsen walks in, and she's like, morning, boys. Thanks, Dewey, you're a peach. So, nice digs. Must be tough paying for this on a bellhop salary. Hey, yeah, but there's 2 of us. She's like, I'm so glad that you guys are modest. Well, and modest too. You guys are the perfect heroes. You should be wearing white hats. And she's like, put on some clothes. Dress warm. We're going for a ride. Now, I don't know if it's a good idea for this ride or not, because I have to stop reading. But, the thing is that they're getting onto a plane with her. I don't know if it's a good idea. I really don't. But I guess eventually we'll find out. Yeah. Anyways, see you in the next clip. So, I read this much. Okay, this much right here. See, I read this much of The Never War. Okay, and let me tell you, shit hurts the fucking fan. Okay, so they find out that Jinx is being grounded and that she's gonna continue flying. I don't even know why that's in there. It's not really all that fucking important. Okay, it's like a blip on the fucking radar at this point, unless something comes back and it becomes important, which I think it will. But it's just it's not something that's important. Yes, she might never fly again, but now that I think about it, maybe it will actually become important, and maybe I'm just being an idiot. Anyways, Rose wants him, and they go and speak to Rose. He wants to give them something, anything they want, and he says that, Pendragon says, like, I want in on whatever the hell you're doing this May 6th. And he's like, okay, well, here's how you can do that. You need to go. He's like, okay, well, I have a job for you. Here's what we're going to do. And his girlfriend, whose nickname is Harlow, suggests that they, a small job to start as a test. And what it is go deliver a message to Wynn Farrow that is stop and nothing will happen. If you don't stop, shit will happen and you will regret it. Like, big time. So, they decide to go do this, and they're like, don't worry about it, Gunny, we'll take care of it and come back. And Gunny's like, I don't know, it sounds like it's a setup. Which, technically was, because Wynn Farrow's like, when they get them, they're tied up and they get put into this warehouse, and Wynn Farrow's like, oh yeah, you were going to say this? Well, here, I got something for you. And blows up, blows him up with this big ass fucking rocket, and the warehouse goes up in flames. Then Saint Dane comes and, fucks with them a little bit, and says, this is all gonna happen, and you can't stop nothing. And then leaves the door open for them to escape. And they do escape. But you wonder why he left the door open. That's a little weird. So they're like, well, we need to go and figure out what's going to happen with Hindenburg, because they're like, we don't know. And so they, Gunny says, well, we'll go to Third Earth, where we'll be able to find out what happens, And Spader decides to stay behind and wait for them, because he's afraid that, they're not going to make it time to stop Wynn Farrow from blowing up the Hindenburg, because they want to save people by stopping the Hindenburg from blowing up. So they go to Third Earth. Third Earth is, like, in the year 5010, and it's, like, people live underground, people live above ground, people live in space. No books exist anymore. Books. My books.
And whose responsibility is it?
So they're like,
that's exactly right. So the next time
they're like, okay, well, let's go. So they go there, and Patrick from Third Earth, the Traveler, shows them this beautiful computer, and they have a lot of stuff, and they sit there and try to come up with information about stuff. So let's get to that part.
Don't you care about him? No, you don't care about him? You don't care what happens to him?
That's the third trip.
You don't have to go in his room anymore, then. You can stay out here and sit right there and not say a fucking thing.
You knew that it was the wrong thing.
By the way, he says that, Gunny says that Quigs, if they're not scared, they don't bother you. Like, that's a little funny. So they, they know everything about everybody. So they try to find out information. They find out that Maximilian Rose dies at 6:50 p.m. on an intersection of Toms Rivers Road, 527, on May 6th. So he dies. He doesn't even get to the Hindenburg, because the Hindenburg was at 7:35. Pharaoh Wynn, he received a speeding ticket at 4:25 p.m. on May 6th. Hindenburg died. So, Amaden Esther, no information. Nickname Harlow, no information. And then he starts putting in Van Dyke Vincent, nickname Gunny, no data. Tilton Press, no data. Pendragon Robert, no data. And then he does Esther Amandan, again, no data. So Esther Amandan is Saint Dane. So that's the important thing, okay? So he was her, who helped him escape, who knew who he was and didn't. Ooh, man, lots of things going on. So they need to figure out what happens if the Hindenburg doesn't explode, and apparently it destroys everything, because at that point the Nazis develop, because Adolf Hitler, Second World War, the Nazis develop an atomic bomb and they use it and they destroy the world. Okay, so that's what will happen if the Hindenburg does not blow up in this book. This fictional book, okay? Fictional. That's the whole point. So they have to let it explode. They have to let those people die. They have to let that 30-second thing go up in the air and go boom, exploding. They have to. They just have to let it happen. So they go back to Second Earth. So, they go back to Second Earth. Patrick wanted to come with, but said, "No, you need to stay here. We'll see you again." They find a letter from Gunny. Not Gunny, but Peter. That says that he's going. So he goes to stop it. Because he's going to New Jersey to stop the Hindenburg from being destroyed, because he found that it was delayed. So he's like, okay, we're going to go. So they took the elevator up to the 30th floor because things have been moving in and out to see Max Rose. And instead of meeting Max Rose, they meet Saint Dane. So Saint Dane was the one who greeted them. And then he teases them about stuff. And then he says the most shocking motherfucking thing in the entire world. The most shocking motherfucking thing. In a few short hours, the course of your world will be changed forever. The earth territories will fall into chaos. And who will be to blame? You. If you hadn't come here to stop me, history would have played out the way it was intended. But you couldn't stay away. You put yourself into the equation. Because of that, 3 terrors will collapse. Your home will collapse. So basically he's saying, after he killed Ludwig Zell and took his place to further everything along, he tells him that if Pendragon hadn't come, Bobby hadn't have come to First Earth, nothing that's about to happen would have happened, because, it wouldn't have just happened. Which kind of sucks. He also says, I'm going to go sit there and check out Velox now, because, I think I can do that. Yeah. And he's like, I should have came to you later on in life to get you to come to my side, because I went to you too early to turn you to my side. So yeah, so he's going to Velox to do some reality crashing, and he's locked Gunny and them into a room that's locked. So now they have to figure out how to get out with a phone that's dead, wire's been cut, and everything. So it's kicking off, and there's only two slots of reading left. So that's 2 more days, and I only have 2 days left because it is the 28th, I believe. And yeah, so tomorrow is the 29th, which means I have 2 days left to read. And I have 2 days left to listen to the Audible. And I don't even remember how far I am into that, but I'm going to have to do a lot of listening to Audible tomorrow and the day after to finish on fucking time. But that's okay. I've got some editing and shit I got to do so I can listen while I'm editing. But yes, that is where I'm at right now for the Never War, Book 3. I forgot how stressful this is. I can't wait to read more. So I finished Pendragon's The Never War. It's been so long since I read this that a lot of stuff was just like. So where we left off, we knew that Esther was Saint Dane, playing both sides, and they're on the way to stop it. They're trapped in the hotel, right? Gunny makes a rope out of bed sheets and other things to go down to the next balcony below them so that way they can get out of there. But Pendragon's like, it's not gonna hold you, but it'll hold me. So he climbs down it. And he does make it down to the bottom, but it's unconscious because he does fall and hit his head. He wakes up to, fuck, I forgot his name. Dewey. So he goes to meet Gunny, and he didn't find a way there, because the person who was building the car that was broken said it was going to take him a day to put it back together. So, he's like, I know somebody who would do it. Jinx Olsen. So he goes to Jinx and says, I need you to fly us to New Jersey, to airfield, where the Hindenburg's going to land. I need you to do that. And she's like, why? And so he explains that something bad's going to happen if they don't stop it. So she flies them there. And he parachutes out halfway down because he sees a bus that he thinks Spader is on, but he's not. They run into a car that has Spader and Max Rose in it, so he hitches a ride with it. And then an accident occurs. Max Rose lives, but he didn't die there in the accident. But Spader, Pendragon get in a car, and Pendragon drives them to where the Hindenburg crashes. So when they get there, Will Farrow is about to light the fuse to do the rocket. Spader stops him, and then Pendragon's got the cue, and he's like, I can't do this, even though I know it hasn't happened. So Gunny lights the rocket and has it go off. Spader is confused about it. He thinks St. Dana's won, and he's like, let me just show you the truth. So he brings Spader to the future, shows him everything, and he's like, well, I'm sorry. I will be better next time. And he's like, I need you to go home to Chloral to clear your head, because you being obsessed with St. Dane is half the reason this happened. And we can't have this happen again. We need you to be clear-headed. So go home, get your shit together, and I'll call you back when I need you. So Peter goes home, Bobby goes home to Second Earth, and he hangs out with his friends for like an entire week. And then he's about ready to go. So when he's about ready to go, Gunny shows up. Gunny calls, and then Gunny shows up. Gunny shows up with his car, and in this car is a man. I have his name. Peter Nelson. So, Peter Nelson was the gunman that tried to kill Max Rose. And Max Rose told Bobby to kill, but didn't. He turned his life around after that. Got his shit together. Made some good choices. And ended up with some money. A family. And lived to be very old. And he wanted to give back to Bobby, the Pendragon, something that belonged to him. So he thought he was giving it back to his grandson. The lie there. And it was his traveler ring. So he got his traveler ring back. Now he doesn't have to worry about trying to put his shit in the lockbox that Sonny broke in 1937. One other thing that happens. Oh yeah, when he gets the traveler ring back, he gets a message from Aja, and she tells him to get over to Velox because St. Dane got past her shit and she needs help. Oh, and Mark Dimon wants to become an acolyte so he can help out travelers. My favorite character in this, I would have to say Pendragon, because even though he makes mistakes, and even though he almost causes a turning point in destroying 3 fucking territories at one time, at the end he realizes that he has to be a traveler, and he has to do things a certain way. And he has to do what needs to be done for the territories. Not what he thinks needs to be done, but what needs to be done. My most disliked character is Spader, because he just too gung-ho with wanting to kill Saint Dane because he killed his father. I mean, Bobby's got reason to hate him too. His Uncle Preston's dead because of it. He doesn't let it get to him the way Spader does. Spader's his own worst enemy right now. I'm glad he's gone back to Coral, because he needs to. He needs to get his act together. He needs to get his shit together. And needs to do it well. Was it as memorable? The turning point was the Hindenburg for 3 fucking territories. 3 territories. 2 territories will be destroyed, their future. And the third one would have been a broken out war. Terrible war. My favorite passage. Oh, Lord. I don't even think I have a favorite passage in here. Let's see. I guess this will be my favorite passage. So, basically, this is after the Hindenburg. And when that he wouldn't have been able to let the Hindenburg crash, and Saint Dane knew that. He said, I can't let that happen again. The stakes are way too high. I know that, now more than ever, if there's anything good that came from my failure on First Earth, so that I have now totally given myself over to being a traveler. One way or another, I'm in it to the end. Yeah, because he realizes that he can't do things for the sake of what he wants to do. He has to do things for the sake of what needs to be done. Okay, that was him being a dick. Okay, so my favorite quote will be this from Gunny. You want to know why we're the ones responsible? Because there's nobody else. Nobody else will be responsible for what's happening. Only they will. And yeah, that's shitty, but that's reality. And you need to face it. Power of the Dragon. Nobody else will do this. Nobody else will save the territories. Nobody else will do what they need to do. They just won't. What I thought about the ending of the book. I'm glad Spader's gone back to Coral to get his shit together. I'm hoping the person he sends it to, his stuff to, will knock some fucking Yenza, knock some shit into him. Need to knock some big shit into him, okay? I'm glad Gunny's going with him to Velox. Can't wait to reread that because I don't remember what happens. I do think that's the last one I got to, but I'm not too sure. It's been so long since I've read these that the only really one I actually remembered was the first one. For some reason. And I'm glad Mark wants to do more than just sit around and wait for shit to happen. What book did it remind me of? I can't think of one right now. I honestly can't. My brain is fried. Not for the reasons you think. Work, and I have a terrible fucking headache, and there's cold on top of it. I think it's a cold. I can't even be sure. I don't know. This book is part of a series called Pen and Dragon, and there are 10 of them in it. There's actually an offshoot called Tales from a Traveler, I think it is. And I think there's 3 of them there in that one. There's also the companion, which is all about Hala. That's it. I gave this a 3.5 for its rating, because though the stakes were high, I don't like that they clashed 3 territories in one. Yeah, gets it over with quicker, so he doesn't have to trudge through more. Because I know they only do like 10 territories technically. Well, 12 if you count 2nd and 3rd Earth. But that's not a lot of territories to go to fight Saint Dane. At least I think so. I don't know if they go to the last territory for the final battle against him. I really don't. But anyways, if you think I deserve a like, comment, and a lovely subscription, why don't you go ahead and drop it down below. I will see you next illusion.